Whenever you're ready.
Hello everybody. I would like for you all to imagine that you are a preteen again, possibly even younger than that. You are living in a country torn by war and are orphaned, and as you dig through the garbage to look for food, you hear the sound of shouting, and soon after, everything goes black. When you awaken, you see a group of kids not that much older than you holding rifles in their hands. One of them gives you a gun and tells you to murder the petrified man across the field. You are now a child soldier. As an international criminal justice major here at John Jay, I have devoted my time to studying human trafficking in relation to the recruitment and use of child soldiers. Today I would like to share with you what I have learned behind the dynamics of using child soldiers, in which today we are going to discuss how these children are recruited, why they are targeted, what roles that they are assigned, and what has the government and other organizations done about this issue in relation to the Mexican drug war. First, let's examine the ways in which how these children are recruited and why they are targeted. For those of you who do not know, a child soldier is someone under the age of 18 that is engaged in any armed forces or armed groups, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily. One of the reasons as to why these children are targeted is because of their vulnerability. Melissa Bale, a research associate for the Council on Hemispheric Affairs, notes that there is approximately 300,000 child soldiers being used worldwide. Particularly in Mexico, children experience psychological trauma on an enormous scale, in which they are robbed of their innocence and are easily manipulated. In addition, due to the increased violence in Mexico's borders, these children are deprived of their education, basic liberties, and other recreational activities. Adding on to that fact, children have the mental and physical capabilities to facilitate the drug cartels in their battle over control and territorial expansion. Children can carry lighter weapons for longer periods of time, and due to a lack of maturity, there is a sense of fearlessness, in which they can project their innocence and sneak and trick law enforcement agencies. A popular form of recruitment is abduction, in which these children are then drugged to facilitate the mentality for conflict and prevent them from escaping. Now, let's address the various roles that they are assigned. Melissa Bale also notes that the common name for child assassin or hitmen is known as sicaritos. And as you can see, here are two children from Mexico, and this is from the Council of Hemispheric Affairs website. Other roles include the children being used as drug mules known as narco-juniors, extortionists that use force to extract payment, and intelligence agents in which they spy on rival drug gangs and law enforcement. Going back to children being used as hitmen, I would like to tell you about Beto and share his testimony. This interview had been conducted by Dr. Rosana Regullo, member of the Mexican Academy of Sciences and professor and researcher at that same institution. This interview is also documented in the NACLA Report of the Americas in the May/June issue of 2011. Beto describes his life as very violent and depressing. Michoacan is a southern Mexican state home to La Familia Michoacana, a notorious drug trafficking group known to recruit young hitmen. Beto is one of their hitmen, and as a child he has experienced psychological trauma in which his older brother had been kidnapped and was never heard from again, and his sisters had moved to the United States, in which he never heard from them again. Beto describes the many jobs he has had to carry out, and I quote, "One day I had to accompany my boss on a really tough job. I had to shoot a guy from a little store who was going around saying things that he shouldn't." Beto was 16 years old, has killed 18 people in addition to a number of mutilations, and describes the relationship between the workers and their bosses as a mix of narcotics, drugs, and power. Despite being so young, Beto wishes to die by being shot in the head while holding his Virgin medallion. Now, you may also think that these children are forced. However, some of these children do volunteer. Because of the people in Mexico live in such poverty, the children not only look for the monetary benefits, but a sense of family, community, and respect, because the majority of these children are orphaned. Finally, let's take a look at what the government and other organizations have done about this issue. One of the ways in which they have dealt with this is through legislative enactments. Josh Rajan, staff writer at Foreign Policy magazine, addresses Barack Obama's additives on the Child Soldiers Protections Act of 2008. These additives prohibit U.S. military aid to countries that use children as soldiers, in which they are listed on the State Department's annual Trafficking in Persons report. In addition, awareness projects such as Project AK-47 have dedicated their time to cease the use of child soldiers. Project AK-47 is a grassroots nonprofit organization in which they establish rehabilitation facilities and recreational outlets for the children of Mexico. One of them is known as the Cotton Project. As stated in their initiative, cotton prices are soaring, and planted cotton is valued at $5,200, which would produce over 100% of returns this harvest. And with the boost in the Mexican economy, the children can benefit more from their programs. In addition, Project AK-47 supports 3 minor league soccer teams for children who are at high risk of drug wars and cartel. In conclusion, we have seen why drug cartels use children to do their bidding. Due to increased violence, the drug cartels use this opportunity to find loyal servants. Despite the continuation of these atrocities, the actions of the government and other organizations have dedicated their time to cease the use of child soldiers once and for all. Thank you.